my existence. This vlog series is Book Battle, and this is episode number 5. So if you haven't checked out the other episodes, make sure you do that. But the main concept of this is I have a stack of books that I'm trying to actively reduce and try and get all my books on my shelf. So the main rules is any book that I take off my shelf to put a book on, I have to read that book. If it is a classic, I immediately have to read that. If I have to do a random number generator to pick the book out of the stacks, and I also have to read that amount of books. So if I end up having to try and put 5 books on my shelf and I have to pull 10 books off to get those 5 books on, I have to read those 10 books on top of the randomly generated number that I generate. So we're going to start. So May was the month of my birthday, which means I got a lot of gifts. So we are in a lot of trouble here. I have stacks of books just staring at me right now. So I'm going to organize them into books that I need to get onto my shelf, and then books that I'm adding to the stacks because I haven't read them. So some of the books are books that I have already read, and I'm nervous. So very nervous. I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was going to be. I have a lot of books that I haven't read that I'm just going to be chucking in straight into the stacks. Okay, it's a lot worse than I thought it was going to be. Okay. Alright. It's a lot worse than I thought it was going to be because I fucked up my stacks. So, let me show you. Watch. I need... That's not right. To get on my shelves. So these are all the books that I've read that I need to get on my shelves. And I can tell you right now that I am in trouble. Because I have already have limited space on my shelves, and I'm actively trying not to double stack everything because I'm trying to reduce the amount of books that I have. So we're going to play around and see what we can do. I know one of these I can just switch out because my wonderful friend Erin actually got me the signed edition of Fourth Wing, and I already have the black edition, so I can just switch that out and take off the black edition that I already own and just sell it because I don't need it, because now I have a signed edition, which is amazing. This one is a thin one, so I don't think I'll have any issues getting that on my shelf. But then I've got some chunky boys. Chunky boys. And I'm scared. So I have to be very strategic in what I'm pulling off my shelves. Okay. Let me just sit here and stew for a few minutes. I'm going to set you up and I'm just going to start reshuffling and see what we can do. Because I'm scared. Very scared right now. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I have to be very strategic about this. So I'm going to set you up and then we're going to play around with my shelves. Wish me luck. I'm trying to be very strategic. I've got a little bit of room here. Well, that's not going to do that, I don't think. Oh, she's a bit of a squeeze, but got it. So this one can get switched out with this one. Is getting switched out with this one. Like that. Oh, she's a bit of a squeeze, but got it. So this one can get switched out with this one. Is getting switched out with this one. Like that. And then this one can go over here. And now we're in a bit of trouble because I don't have any more space. So now I have to be really strategic with what I pull off. So let me get all of these still on the shelf. Oh, it's so much trouble. I'll be able to slide. See, they're all series, so I'm trying to keep them together, but this one is the only one that's an individual one, so that can go up there. I don't see any more space. Oh, there might be some space over here. Let's turn it around. Ignore the fan in the way, but I think I might be able to squeeze. Oh. So I think this might be the first one that I can't get on the shelves. And I don't really like Gillian Flynn, so this might be a good one to read and just get off the shelves. And I'm probably have an audiobook for this, so I'll leave this here for now, and we will see. I don't think I've got any more room over here. I'm not pulling the Stephen King off, because fuck that. I'm over Stephen King for these vlogs. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, can I fit? Please. Yes. But I really do think that's it. So I need to fit 2 more. And these are thick boys. So I feel like I need to pull some books off the shelf to fit these on. So maybe I do that. Looking at my shelves, I think I might have an idea on what to do. So we're gonna come back this way. We're gonna pop down here. So in episode number 3, I read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. So if I read the second one, that gets that off my shelf, and it's continuing the series. I think this is book 2. Yes. So if I read this one, I don't think it's going to get. Oh, it might squeeze in there. But then it's also, do I read? I don't know, because I feel like they'll be too samey. So maybe I have to pull another one off the shelf. I think these are very thick. I'm not gonna be able to get back on the shelf. So maybe I pull this one off. Because this looks like it might be a quick read. Slide these along. Oh, she's a bit thicker. I only damaged it, so I might have to pull another one off as well. Okay, let's pull this one off as well. And then fit this one in here. Okay. So to fit all of those books on, I had to pull off 4 books. But that's not too bad. I was expecting it to be a lot worse. So how many did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 books? 9 books. So that's not terrible. So to fit 9 books on, I had to pull off 4 books. So that is our starting number with this one. So we got Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. We have Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. We have Full Bloodied by Amanda Carlson? No idea. And then we also have A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. So that's not terrible. And then we have to add all of these books into the stacks, but I think I might do that in the next clip. because these clips are very, very long, and then choose, or do we just do that now? I don't know. What do you want me to do? What should I do? Maybe I'll add all of those into the stacks, reshuffle them, and then come back to you when I'm... So we will do a random number generator right now. Then I'll reshuffle the books, and then I'll come to you when I've got a reading update. So we've got a random number generator of 3 to 5. We do generate 4. So I need to read 4 more books out of the stacks on top of these 4 books. So 8 in total, which isn't terrible. So I'm going to reshuffle the books, show you my piles of what's in the piles, and then I'll come back to you when I've got a reading update. That sounds like a plan. Here are my newly refurbished stacks. I swear it's getting worse than it's getting better. But a lot of these were gifts. So I did have to do a couple of swap outs. So I had Reckless on the list by Lauren Roberts, but I haven't read Powerless, so I put Reckless on my shelf and put Powerless here instead, so it takes its place. And then I also took Vows and Ruins off out of the stacks and onto my shelves, and I added this one and this one into the stacks so that would fit onto the shelf, because I have a different vlog idea for the Blood and Steel series by Helen Shearer, so I don't want to end up accidentally picking it and then having to read it in this vlog, and then it kind of ruins my vlog plans for another vlog. So that is it for now. It is still a couple of days away from the start of June, which is when I'll be starting this vlog, but 9 books, which I don't think is going to be too much of an issue, especially if I can get to at least 2 of these on audio. And maybe I might be able to get this on audio as well, so we shall see. But I am excited, but also very nervous to get this vlog started, which is why I decided to do this very early, because I was scared and I needed to know how many I was going to be having to, how many books I was going to have to read in June before I could plan my June TBR. But I don't know if I'm going to be getting much more read, but we shall see. So I'm going to go, and then I will come back with some updates once I've started reading. Phone update, because I cannot be bothered pulling out my camera, but I am 49% of the way into Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I'm listening to this on audio, and at the moment I don't really have any thoughts. I'm just kind of vibing with the story. So in this one, we're following our main character, Camille, who ends up having to go back to her hometown because there are murders happening of little girls, and she works for a newspaper, and her boss has told her that she needs to go back to her hometown and figure out what's happening. And we're just watching her as she's dealing with it. She has an alcohol issue. She's a very unlikable character. But yeah, I don't really have much thoughts. I'm just kind of vibing with it at the moment, and I didn't read any more today because I forgot to update you guys yesterday when I read it, so I didn't want to finish the book and then come in here and be like, I finished a book, without giving updates. So yeah, it's fine. I think it's going to be about a 3-star unless the next 51% knocks me or shocks me, but we shall see. I haven't really liked much of Gillian Flynn's books, so this is kind of the last chance. I DNF'd Gone Girl. I gave the other one 2 stars. So we shall see. I'm not hopeful, but I'm also open to it being a better book than I think. So I will finish it tomorrow, and I'll probably update you tomorrow afternoon. Goodbye. Hello. We are here with a very quick update because my battery is about to die, but I finished Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn this afternoon at work. I listened to the audio, and like in my previous update, it's fine. I was just vibing with it. I kind of guessed where the story was going. And yeah, I just felt like it's a very early 2000s thriller. And if I didn't know that Gillian Flynn was a woman, and I didn't know who the author was for this book, I would have presumed it was a man. The descriptions in here are very grotesque, and it's almost like the author wrote certain sentences and certain scenes just to shock the reader, to get an emotion out of them, and I just didn't really love it. Our main character is a mess. She ends up taking drugs with her 13-year-old stepsister, like younger sister or whatever. It was a shit show, and I didn't really like it. And the more that I talk about it, I think the more that I want to give this a 2 star. So this is definitely not going back on my shelf. This is definitely going out of my house. But yeah, I kind of had an idea about where this whole story was going. It's almost something that I've read before, and me and Gillian Flynn just do not mesh. I DNF'd Gone Girl. I gave 2 stars to Dark Places, I think it was called, and then Sharp Objects is another 2 star. So yeah, I don't think Gillian Flynn is the author for me, unfortunately, but 1 down out of 8. So I have my choice of these 3, and I think that I'm going to be picking up Full Blooded first by Amanda Carlson, just because I think this is going to be a little bit of a faster read. It's about werewolves and it is possibly YA. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm very intrigued by this one. And yeah, we will start this, but I do have some work to do tonight, so I might edit a video and things like that and get myself rolling, because it's almost the weekend, which is very, very exciting. So hopefully I can finish this one and then another one of these on the weekend and get the ball rolling, because it is the 5th of June and I have 8 books to read in this vlog, so we gotta get rolling on this one. So I'm gonna go and I'll update you when I've got something to update about Full Blooded. Time for another update on Full Blooded by Amanda Carlson. So as I said, I didn't really know much about this going in, but in this one we're following our main character Jessica, and she has always grown up knowing that her family are werewolves, and she was never going to have that gene where she could turn into a werewolf. But she has sort of like these half werewolf abilities where she can run really fast and she's super strong and things like that. But one day she ends up shifting into a full wolf, and she is very surprised by this, and so is her family, and they are trying to hide the fact, because in this world there is sort of a prophecy, or like a prophecy to say that a woman who will shift into a wolf will kind of bring the end of times, and they are trying to manage that. This is a very fast-paced read. I am on page 188 and I don't really love it and I don't really hate it. I'm just kind of reading it at this point. Werewolves are very different in here than I expected, but it's interesting. I'm liking Jessica, I guess, but yeah, there's just a lot of strange things happening. So she ends up getting attacked, and we're kind of following her as she is in a lot of danger, and her family are kind of rallying behind her and trying to protect her. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be finishing this one today. I just don't know how I'm going to feel about it in the end. But almost 2 books down. So we are getting there with this vlog, which is very, very exciting. So I'm going to continue reading, and I'll update you when I finish this and then what I'm picking up next. Hello. It's time for a reading update on Full Blooded. So I finished this Sunday, I think, and I didn't come and update you just because I wasn't really in the mood of updating you, but I got to a point in the story where I was like, cool, we're getting to the climax of this story, things are going to start happening, we're going to get these plot twists, and then the book ended. Like, I feel like we were building up to something that never came to fruition. And it almost felt like this author had decided that, like, she was writing this book, having a great time, and then realizing, like, oh, I need to write the sequel. So I need something for this sequel. So I'm just going to end it, like, right here. Other than that, it was fine. It was an interesting take on werewolves. This main character, Jessica, is the only female werewolf, so that puts her in a lot of danger. And yeah, we're just kind of following her as she's kind of dealing with that. it was fine. It's not something that I'm going to continue reading the series, and it's just something that's going to get taken off my shelf and out of the stacks. So I'm happy that I read it, happy that I got this off my shelf, and happy that something else is going to be taking its place. So once I finished that, I picked up Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. I have read an A.M. Strickland before in The Ravenous Dark, and A.M. Strickland is known for her LGBTQIA plus diversity and also her standalone novels. I did enjoy In the Ravenous Dark, but I found that it could have been better as a duology because there was so much jam-packed in that story. And I'm feeling kind of the same way about this one. So I am 171 pages in, and although it feels like a lot has happened, also at the same time nothing has really happened. We're following our main character, Cammy, and she has been told she is a soul walker. So while she's asleep, she can go in and see the souls of other people. And she's always been told that because this black door turns up every time she's in this soul world, and she's been told to never open it, never touch it, whatever. Something happens to her mum and she decides that she's going to open this door, which kind of then leads her into some dangerous situations. And we're kind of going from there. Like I said, it feels like a lot has happened, but also nothing has happened at the same time. But I am enjoying it. I do like our main character, Cammy, and I'm very interested to see where the rest of this story goes, because it's very unique. It's very different to a story that I've read before, so I'm very intrigued to see. So hopefully I can get this done soon. I've just got a little bit of work to do before I get into reading, so I'm going to go do that. So then I can spend the rest of the evening reading, which will be very nice. So I'm going to do that, and I'll update you when I've got some updates. We have some updates. It's been a little while since I updated you on my reading for this vlog, but I have finished Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland. I think I'm going to be giving this a 3-star read. It wasn't anything exceptional, anything crazy. I felt very ambivalent towards it reading it, but it was definitely interesting and very unique, and I again feel like a lot happened, but also not a lot happened, which is very weird to say. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 3-star. I really liked the asexual rep in here. Our main character is asexual and really struggles with coming to terms with that and realizing that it's actually okay to be asexual, and that in this world, like, there is a lot of different LGBTQIA plus representation, which I am always appreciative of with A.M. Strickland. So yeah, I finished this, and it's going to be a 3-star read for me, so I'm not going to be trying to get it back on my shelf, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it has been on my shelf for a long time, and I'm glad that I finally read this one. So once I finished that, I then picked up a Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. So this is book 2 in the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet series, or the Wayfarers series, and in this one we're following 2 characters that we met in book 1, and we're kind of following them on their adventure. So something has happened with one of our characters, and she is now trying to deal with all the changes that have been made and kind of trying to find herself and be comfortable within her body. And then we're also following Pepper, and kind of following her past timeline on how she grew up and why she is the way that she is, which is very, very interesting. So each chapter we're kind of moving through different timelines, which I thought was really good. So I am 206 pages in, so quite a bit of the way in, and I'm hoping that I can get this done tonight, because that would be amazing, and that would be 4 books down. So this is only 364 pages, so which will be good. So this is a cozy sci-fi story. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is more of a found family dynamic, and I definitely think that this could be a found family dynamic as well, with the relationships that are growing and building in here. So yeah, it is very cozy. There's not a lot happening. It's more slice of life, which is always good. But I do find that I find myself getting distracted a little bit. I'm not pulled into the story and engrossed in the story as much as I would like. So I find that I'm picking up my phone quite a bit. But yeah, the plan is to try and finish this tonight. So then that's 4 books down. I only have to read 4 more out of the stacks, which is exciting. So fingers crossed we can get this done. And yeah, shouldn't be too hard. It's only 5 p.m. So fingers crossed I can do that. But yeah, we've got some It's only the 14th of June, so I'm actually really happy that I've gotten almost 4 books down for this vlog, and it being still quite early in the month, because I thought this one was going to be chaos, but I've been really determined on reading these books instead of everything else that is everywhere else. But yeah, so I'm going to continue reading. I'm actually going to jump in the shower, wash my hair, because it is a hair washing day. I'm going to go and I'm going to continue reading after my shower. I'll come back to you when I finish this one. It was quite late when I finished Closed in Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. And then I picked up an ebook that I've been really wanting to read. That was a novella, so I finished that as well last night. But it is time to pick my next book. But to round out reading A Closed in Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, I thought this is really good. It definitely is a lot more slow going than book 1. The found family aspects is really beautiful, and I liked watching, what's her name? Sidra find her place and realise that who she is and what she wants in life, which was very, very great. I also liked the connection of the dual timelines that went through this. I'm not sure my rating on this. I think that it might be a 3-star. It might be a little bit lower than The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I didn't love it as much. I didn't find myself as invested in these characters, and I just found it to be very, very slow. I was getting very distracted while reading it, so it wasn't the best for me, I don't think. So it is time to get our next book underway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over and count the books and double check that I've got the right number, and then we will do a random number generator and go pick our next book. I just did a quick count and we have 68 books in the stack. So let's come over to the computer. Hopefully you'll be able to see if we zoom in what it's going to be. So we've got 1 to 68, generate 54. 54, quite a high number, so it's going to be in the last stack. So let's go over to the stacks and figure out what we're going to be reading. Oof, alrighty. And we have Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iru. I think that's how you pronounce it. If not, I'm sorry. So this is one that I recently bought, that my partner bought me for my birthday, and I've heard some great things about this. So this was self-published, and now it has been traditionally picked up and it got re-edited and stuff. I have no idea about this. It's all I know is that it has celestial vibes, so I'm very, very intrigued. This is a bit of a longer one than I was expecting. Over 500 pages, which we didn't really want, but that's okay. So it says, a scorching romance, the best debut I've ever read. Can love overcome fate? You know the most dangerous kind of villain? A woman with nothing left to lose. Are we getting female rage? I love female rage. In a world ruled by stars, cruel and merciless gods, Illyria had... In a world ruled by star... Oh my god, words, please. In a world ruled by the stars, cruel and merciless gods, Illyria has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star, but it will kill them both. When the star of wrath and war descends to hunt Illyria, the neighbouring kingdom sees an opportunity to take her from her home, the kingdom of night, to Helios, the kingdom of light, where she strides straight into the arms of an enemy prince. There, Illyra is forced to either let Prince Lorenzo train her into a weapon worthy of battling against the tyrannical reign of the stars, or accept her fate. But there are shadows even within the Kingdom of Light, and they threaten to reveal the darkness into Lorenzo's past and the ancient magic that slumbers in Illyra's veins, and with it all, the undeniable star-crossed pull between them. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to read this for years. I wanted to read it before it was traditionally published, and I never got around to it, and then it got traditionally published. So I'm very, very excited to read this. I don't think the second one is even out yet, but I'm very intrigued. Yeah, I'm very, very intrigued. So I'm very excited to get to this one. So hopefully I can start it tonight or today at some point. And we can go from, ooh, look at this map. Pretty. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go. Breakfast is cooking and I'm gonna get some work done today. So hopefully I can pick this one up at some point throughout the day. Fingers crossed, because I'm very, very excited for this one. Hello, good morning. It's been a long time since I've updated you guys, but I am 220 pages into Heavenly Bodies, and I am having the absolute best time with this book. I can already tell you this is going to be a 5-star read for me. I'm having so much fun. I'm loving the relationship between our two main characters, Alara and Enzo. It's just so great. I'm loving them. There is so much tension and chemistry between them, and we are now getting to a point in the story where things are about to start kicking off, and I think that we're going to go in for the next 200 or so pages. We're going to be in for a wild ride. As you can see, I'm tabbing it up. I'm having the best time, and this is actually taking me a lot longer than I thought it was going to, mainly because I am reading a physical book and annotating, and my cat has decided that he wants to sit on my lap every night and will not let me read a physical book, which has been a bit of a struggle. So we are on the 22nd of June, and I still have to finish Heavenly Bodies on top of 3 other books. So I am panicking because I am not ready to have this challenge defeat me. But we are going to pick our next 3 books now, and I'm going to see hopefully if I can get audiobooks for them so we can fly through this a little bit quicker. So let me just count the stacks, make sure we've got our right numbers, and start going from there, because this is going to be a shit show if I can't get some audiobook reading. So we have 67 books in the stacks, which is a lot, but let's pull up our number generator and see what we get. But a lot of these are indie reads now at the moment, and I don't want to have audiobooks for them, but it may just be the way that we go. 31 is our first one. So let's go over to the stacks and see what that is. Can you see? We'll do that. Alrighty, so the first one is Letting Go by Angela Day, and I honestly don't think that there is an audiobook for this because it is an indie read and it is the person's first book, which generally means that there is never really an audiobook. But I'll have a quick look and see, but I don't think there is going to be one, which is not great so far. But this is a contemporary women's fiction story with a little bit of romance in here. And I met this author at Ages of Pages, and she sounded really, no, there's not an audiobook. It sounded interesting, so I'm quite intrigued by this one. It is a bit of a chunky boy, which I'm nervous about, but when the past is broken and the present is full of uncertainty, it's time to let go. A heartwarming standalone story about finding the courage to move towards the people and places that can make us whole again. Callie Winters is the chief medical officer for a pharmaceutical company and has dedicated her adult life to building a solid future for her son, a boy who has grown up without his father. But just as her hard work and dedication are about to pay off, she must put it all at risk against time to protect him. Callie revisits a life she lived differently and questions everything she told herself these last 17 years. So I think it's a lot of finding yourself, realizing that things that you dealt with back in the day weren't what you thought they were, and I'm very interested. So interesting. She's actually from the same place that I'm from, here in New Zealand. That's so funny. So I am going to get into this at some point and hopefully fly through it. So now we've got 66 books in the stacks. So let's pick out book number 2. So 66, 58. Hopefully it's one that will have an audiobook. After Time by Sophie Littlefield. What I know about this one is a zombie book. Yeah, the best zombie book I've ever read. This is one that's been on my shelf for a long time, and I'm hoping there's an audiobook for this. If not, I'm so screwed, guys. So screwed. Let's pull up and see. But the world is gone, the dead are walking, her daughter is missing. Castaller vaguely recalls surviving something terrible. Around her is barren wasteland where cities once stood. Her body is ravaged, her daughter has disappeared, her eyes are unwilling to believe what they see. People turned hungry for human flesh by a government experiment gone wrong. Packs of cannibalistic beaters prowl the desolate landscape. Everyone is out for their own survival. There are no rules, no morals, no hope for Cass with a body scarred by a zombie attack. The nightmare has only just begun. Ooh, that's so interesting. So she is possibly turning into a zombie? That's actually really interesting. After Time. Sophie. Oh, man, I hope to God there's an audiobook, because I will cry. Doesn't look like it. Fuck. I'm so screwed, guys. So screwed. Alright. It's fine. It's fine. We will figure it out. So now we've got 65 books in the stacks. So let's go into our next one. 51. Again. Interesting. Okay. So... No, 51 is different. 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, 60, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55, 54, 53, 52, 51. Oh, Blood of Hercules. This is one that I'm so excited to read. Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. So I'm very, very excited about this one. This is Greek mythology, reverse harem. So Alexis Hurt isn't a hero, and she certainly isn't a god. She's a survivor, but when a test grants her admittance to the Spartan War Academy, Alexis will have to do more than survive to graduate. While unyielding gladiators Achilles and Patro hone her into a warrior, her professors, the two brooding heirs to the underworld, haunt her steps and her thoughts. Because where there are gods, there are bound to be monsters, and there is more than one hunting Alexis. I've heard so many good things about this. I know there is an audiobook for this, but I really, really wanted to read this one physically, so now I'm kind of sad. But I'm going to have to make some serious decisions, guys, because I have all of these to read in 8 days. So I'm going to go. I'm going to curl up in a corner and cry and struggle for the next 8 days and try not admit defeat immediately and try and get as much of this done as I can. So this is the shortest one, so I think I might be able to fly. Oh, the writing is tiny. Ugh, never mind. I don't know. I need to come up with a game plan and try and find an audiobook somewhere for these books. So I'm gonna go. I'm going to have an existential crisis and try and figure out what the heck I'm doing, because this is going to be manic. So I'll talk to you when I have a game plan. updates. Or if I'm crying, we have updates. So, since the weekend, I have been on the grind trying to read these books because I do not want a punishment. So we're in the 27th of June. So we have 3 days until the end of the month. And last night I finished After Time by Sophie Littlefield. So this is the zombie book that I was talking about. I never gave you an update while I was reading this, but it was definitely interesting. So in this one, it is pretty much a couple of years, I think, or it's not the start of an apocalypse. It's basically the apocalypse has already happened. We're watching these people as they are trying to survive. So we're following our main character, Cass, and her daughter is missing. And she is on a mission to find her. But as we're reading the story, we find out that she was actually attacked by zombies. And she did turn into a zombie, but then she has also reverted back to being a human. And she's trying to keep that a secret because people are just killing these people who look like zombies on the spot without even questioning if they are a zombie or not. We're watching her as she is trying to find her daughter and getting herself into very dangerous situations in the name of saving her daughter. So with zombie books, you know, we always have a weird, creepy cult. We always have a lot of violence, but we also have fan family vibes. I would say that this definitely has all of those things. So this is a series from what I know. I think it's a trilogy, but where this book ended was quite good. Like, you could read this as a standalone and believe that everything is happily ever after. So yeah, it's definitely pretty good. I didn't love it, but I did read it and I did finish it, so that is something. So I think I'm going to be giving this a 3-star. Just wasn't excellent, and I just found that it was a little bit of a slog going through at times. I didn't really like being in Cass's head. She is a hard character to follow. She is a recovering alcoholic. She's only recovering from alcoholism because of the zombie apocalypse, and she uses sex and uses people to her advantage. And we're kind of watching her as she is kind of doing that, but also learning that that's not a good thing. And she also is very hateful of herself. She really doesn't like herself. So it's definitely was a struggle kind of being in her head for this whole book. But it was fine. This is going to be one that I'm going to be scrapping. So it's going to be going in my Keep-or-Unhaul pile. But we've got another one off. So that was book 7. Yeah, book 7. What was the other one that I read? I can't remember. But I also picked up Blood of Hercules last night by Jasmine Mass. So this is a dark fantasy romance following our main character Alexis, who finds out that she has to take part in the Spartan War Academy. Alexis will have to do more than to survive, and she has these gladiators who are training her, who are these big scary guys, and then also her mentors, I think. Her professors, the 2 brooding heirs to the underworld, haunt her steps and her thoughts. So I feel like this is going to be a reverse harem. I've heard really great things about this, and I'm really, really excited. I am 118 pages in. I picked this up last night because we had a power cut, so I started reading it on Kindle Unlimited, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I've already highlighted so many things, but obviously because I was reading it on Kindle, I don't have it annotated on this edition, but I don't think I have time to actually annotate this, because it's going to take me a while to annotate, because when you're annotating it slows everything down. But I'm really enjoying it. The inner monologue of Alexis is hilarious. She is so deadpan and sarcastic, and it's just so funny. I've been like cackling to myself this whole time. We also have a kind of animal familiar, Nyx, who is a snake, and she is the epitome of a spirit animal. Like, I love her so much. And yeah, I I'm loving it. I love Greek mythology, and it's been a while since I've read a Greek mythology book, so I'm very, very excited to read this. I remember what book it was. Oh. Heavenly Bodies. I don't think I updated you when I finished this. This whole vlog is all over the place, but I finished Heavenly Bodies this weekend and I absolutely loved it. This is a 5-star read for me. Although I did guess the ending of one of the big reveals, I loved it. The tension, I annotated the heck out of this. I stopped annotating it because I needed to finish it, but so I'll go back and put my tabs in. But I love this book so much. The slow burn, the tension, the banter, the true enemies to lovers in this was just immaculate. I loved it so much. Like, I tabbed so many things. Like, where's, like, loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. This is so good. The romance between them is stunning, and there is a big cliffhanger at the end, so I'm very excited to pick up book 2. Book 2 actually was on sale on Kindle for like $2, so I picked it up, and I hopefully will get to it very, very soon. But this is definitely going to be a keep, and I'm going to have to fit this on my shelf in July, which is a bit scary. But yes, I love this. This is a 5-star read, one of my favorite reads of this vlog so far, and it's just amazing. So we finished this, and it's a 3-star, and now we are currently reading this, and I've got one more book to read before the end of this vlog. So once I finish this, I've got one more in 3 days. So let's see how much I can actually get read this month for the rest of this weekend, because we've got a lot of things happening this weekend, so we shall see. But I'm gonna do some work. We did it. In the nick of time, I finished all of the books that I needed to read for Book Battle for June yesterday. So we're going to just go quickly through the last 2 books that I read for this vlog, which was Letting Go by Angela Day, and also The Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. This is a 5-star read for me. Absolutely loved it. This is dark, this is gruesome, this is gritty. There is a lot of morally grey characters in here, and I had the best time, and I'm very, very excited to check out book number 2. So this is going to be a keep. And then Letting Go was a contemporary story where we're following our main character Callie, who is really struggling with things of the past and letting her son know about those things in the past and coming to terms with everything that happened in the past. It was definitely interesting. I'm going to be giving this a 4-star read, and it is dedicated to me, so I think I am going to keep it on my shelf. I did enjoy it, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a little bit more of a contemporary story with not really a lot of romance, but a lot of hard topics discussed. And then for this vlog, I also read After Time by Sophie Littlefield. I gave this a 3-star. It was fine. It was definitely very interesting, and it was definitely a unique story, but I don't think I'm going to be keeping this one. Then we have Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eru. 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. Obsessed with this book. Cannot wait to read the second one and continue with the series. This is definitely going to be a keep. A Closed and Common Orbit, found family, sci-fi, a fun time. Definitely a little bit slower than book 1, but I had a good time, and I don't think I'm going to be keeping this one. Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland, definitely my favourite of all of A.M. Strickland's works that I've read, which is only another one, but I did enjoy this very unique concept where we have dreamwalkers, and she has been forced not to, forced into situations that she doesn't want to be in, and exploring asexuality and stuff. Then we also had Full Blooded by Amanda Carlson. It was fine. Wasn't great, wasn't amazing, wasn't bad in any way. It just felt very abrupt with the ending, and yeah. And then we also have Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. I have no idea where my copy is, but I also read that, and that was going to be a 3-star for me. So not terrible, but again, not my favorite. I kind of guessed where it was ending, and yeah, so that is the end of this vlog. We had 1, 2, 3 keeps, so I'll be trying to get those on my shelf in the next vlog, and yeah, I am very, very excited to get into Book Battle episode number 6, 7, I can't remember. Everything's blurring together now. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, comment down below if you've read any of these books that I read, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Bye.